Hello everyone, and thank you for watching. This is Hadrian. It is time, once again, to start a new series. This is Series 5 for my channel, and we're going to play a little bit of This War of Mine. I say a little bit of because this game actually has a definite endpoint as compared to the previous series that I played in this time slot, which is The Long Dark in the Against All Odds series. Thank you to all of you who are continuing to watch the channel as at the end of that series. It's been great having you so far. So just a quick note for those of you who have not been on my channel before, who don't know what's going on. This is just an introduction to the series we're going to run in This War of Mine, which we're going to call Out of Ashes, by the way. So if you are interested in just watching the gameplay, if you already know what's going on with the series, go ahead and skip to the next video in the series by clicking the link on your screen that's been up the whole time, and it will take you there. Otherwise, let me talk a little bit about what This War of Mine is and what we're going to do with the series. If you've never heard of This War of Mine, it's an extremely unique and amazing game by 11-Bit Studios. The premise is, well, before I really talk about the premise, the way you would introduce the premise to most people is by describing that there are so many war games out there already, right? Where you're playing as the soldier running around either in a real world or a science fiction setting. And you're running around with a gun on a rampage killing everybody. Even if you're a good guy or a bad guy, it doesn't matter. You've got a gun and you're killing. That's what the typical war game looks like. This is the only war game that I am aware of where you are playing as the civilians in a war zone. And you're just trying to live through the war. You're just trying to get through it as best you can with limited food, limited supplies, limited everything. And you just don't have access to a normal life. So it's extremely emotionally gripping as a game. As you can see from just some of the stuff on the screen here, it goes to some darker, more blunt and bleak and just gritty places than The Long Dark does, which is not at all a slight against The Long Dark. I think some people might prefer The Long Dark to This War of Mine ultimately, but one of the reasons that it is so great is that it really does hook into you on an emotional level when you play it, especially when you're playing it for the first time. Very similar to the way The Long Dark actually hooks into you emotionally when you first play it, because you're really experiencing this feeling of survival for the first time. And I also, on a quick note, not to get too far on a tangent from this happy little place we have here in this channel, but I think this is relevant. I think it's a good game to play in the modern world. It's a good experience to have, and it's good that it exists because there are a lot of extremely war-torn and impoverished countries in the world right now. So just kind of having this experience to give you some perspective, even though it comes from a game, I think has a certain value to it. And that's what I hope to illustrate through the series as well, in addition to putting out an entertaining Let's Play. So that's what the game is about. Let's talk a little bit about the series. It's going to be pretty standard fare for those of you who have been here before. This is going to be in my off-genre slot, which is where I put my sci-fi survival simulation content that's not historical grand strategy or the like. That's at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is GMT -5 for those of you who follow Greenwich Mean Time or variants of it. So every day, 6 p.m. If you have any questions or comments about the series, you can always leave them in the box below. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, this series will have a definite endpoint, so we're not looking at as long of a series as Against All Odds, just because it will end at a certain point. Either all my characters will die, which is a distinct possibility, or I will live through the war and the game will be over. It is possible to win, as opposed to The Long Dark, where you know you're going to die at some point. You're just prolonging the inevitable. This is different. So again, if you have any questions about it, you guys know I love to hear from you. If you are new to the channel and you don't know I love to hear from you, I love to hear from you. Leave a comment or a question. I'm happy to talk to you. So I think that's it. Let's go ahead and dive in, but we're going to dive in the next episode. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget the like button. And if you're considering subscribing, remember I put out new stuff in this slot every day at 6 p.m. Hopefully it's entertaining enough to earn your subscription. So again, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next episode.